50. Anyway,
What?
I think it's time we go. Yeah. No, it's called a dead joke. You know how in Hollywood they don't want to write a real joke, so they're lazy, so they cut in and they tell the punchline. And it was this big, and everyone's laughing. So you're like, that must have been funny. That's what I was doing. I'm not good.
I was not ultimately not prepared for that.
I need you to understand how bad I am at that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was super washed out. That's not my fault. I blame everything but me. So
that's fine.
We're back. It's a Friday. We took a little time off to reacclimate ourselves to good content. We got good content. We're happy now. Here's the deal. Daredevil is back, and it is the best thing Marvel has put out, ... ever. It's Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is quickly becoming Winter Soldier levels of well thought out bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Invincible is back. We're now 5 episodes in, I think, as of this week.
Yeah, this
5 episodes.
Episode 5, and episode 5 was sensational, if you ask me. Sensational.
We got One Piece is over. Well, it's not, but it is. One Piece is this over.
Season. Yeah.
Well, like it's been 3 weeks since it came out, so like the hype of One Piece is now over. It was great. We'll talk about it, but not much.
Yeah. And
as far as the horizon's concerned, we have a Supergirl trailer that makes Supergirl look like an interesting movie, which is mind-blowing. Because they seem to be doing John Wick with Supergirl, and I'm fine with it, even though that's actually the story. No problem, whatever, who cares? There were a couple of conversations about Spider-Man Brand New Day. We talked a lot about it because we watched the trailer last time, but everything else that's come out has more been just conversational.
Yeah.
And last but not least, there were some leaks about Doomsday, and these seem to be getting traction. And I don't know how much detail I want to go in, because as far as I'm concerned, those leaks kind of, that I don't like that story. And it was a plot leak. It wasn't like a shot for shot leak. So some of the dumber people are like, well, what happened to, why is Wakanda not mentioned? It's like, that doesn't mean it's not true. And unfortunately, the leaks look plausible because it looks terrible. And I do suspect that, again, I hope it's not, because I do hope this movie's good, but I just have no reason to believe this movie's going to. Anyway, where do you think we should start? Should we start with the highest of highs?
I think we start with the highest of highs, man. I think Daredevil is just, we got to talk about Daredevil, man.
Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is so fucking good. It is 3 things that I didn't know Marvel was capable of in any form. It is true to the characters in a way that I don't believe they've been many times before.
Okay.
It is compelling in ways that I don't believe they've done many times. I think they've done a couple of times, but compelling as in I cannot wait for the next. Like, I can't. It's so good I want to rewatch old Daredevil. That's how good it is. Because I'm not done. And it is truly violent. It is not
Murdock
comic book.
Is cussing. Like I'm.
He said fuck. He said fuck.
Yeah.
He said fuck. I paused.
Yep.
I stopped for a minute and I was grabbing my pearls. I was like, how? No.
Yep.
No, not my mat.
Mm-hmm.
No. He said fuck. He said
He
a
did.
no bad word.
Mm-hmm. Like Matt's a little unhinged right now. Just a tad bit.
So there are 3 episodes of Daredevil now. We missed the first week. We talked about it because we're doing alternate weeks now in the show. And that was by design because it's easier to talk about 3 weeks worth of things. And if something really important happens, we can talk about it.
Yep.
So let's start with episode 1. And I will try to keep everything in order because I've really grouped all 3 episodes as one episode in my head because I'm like, no, this is a lot. The first 3 episodes are a movie of, oh my God, what's happening? So we are a number of weeks after the events of Daredevil season, Born Again season. Daredevil season 4, whatever you want to call it. Disney Daredevil previous. Matt Murdock and Karen Page are hiding in Josie's bar. And they have formed a sort of resistance to Kingpin. Kingpin is winning.
Yep.
He's winning a lot.
Yep.
He's winning so much that he is sneaking in, from what we can tell, arms for the CIA into his free port at, was it Red Bank, I think it's called?
Red
Hook. He is sneaking in arms for government agencies and Daredevil, who is functionally, as we've kind of talked about, the only fucking vigilante in New York right now. So what does that mean for the giant MCU? Where is Spider-Man? He's been referenced, but obviously we have not seen him. And I don't know if there's been any Easter eggs of like Spider-Man anywhere. I know that Daniel Lewis Cretton, the guy who's directing it, worked with the people from Daredevil. Like they talked a lot and was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to make it all line up. Because Feige pushed to Marvel Television, hey, we can't have another multiverse of madness again. Like, people who we want people to go watch our old content. And if you watch Multiverse of Madness and then you watched WandaVision after to kind of catch up, you'd be like, I don't understand. Because they were so far apart. And the changes that were made to cut Doctor Strange at the end because someone was like, well, I don't want a man to come and save her. It's like, that's probably great if this was a one-off story that was never going to be told again, but this is part of a connected universe. You probably could have Doctor Strange come in and, at the very minimum, address that she's doing some bullshit.
Yep.
But thankfully, Daredevil Season 2 has all of the only talented writers in Hollywood. So they're not listening to anyone's opinion if it's not furthering a good story. Kingpin, Daredevil sinks. Well, Daredevil finds the ship that's Kingpin is using for illicit materials. And as a result, as an attempt to kill him, they capsize the ship to try to kill Daredevil and prevent it from leaking. That doesn't work out because the main character is Daredevil, so he cannot die in the first episode of the season. Right? So he escapes. They blame it on him, and we get this very new BB on the street where she is very obviously now propaganda. She is like made up nonsense, full propaganda. Like, oh, everyone's really happy and in New York. They're getting the worst New York interviews I've ever seen. At one point, not sure what episode, there's a woman being interviewed in New York who says the line, "I've been a New Yorker for 30 years and our city has never been better." And as someone who lived in New York, works in New York, and frequently enters New York, I will tell you, there is not a goddamn New Yorker on fucking the planet, living, dead, or future, that will ever have positive things to say about New York. Unless they're talking to somebody outside of New York. If a New Yorker is talking to another New Yorker, they are an old Jewish grandma. "Oh, my back hurts. The train is down. Oh, my sugar." Like, they're just whining. You know me, I can't complain. Like, that is everything about New Yorkers, unless you are from outside of New York. Like, I would be Bridge and Tunnel by that definition. And I say something bad about New York. They're like, "Hey, fuck you. New York is great."
Right.
There is no way a person being interviewed about New York, by New York, for New York is like, "The city is great. Thanks, Kingpin." Like, no, that just wouldn't happen. They'd be like, "My rent's too high." Like, at the barest of minimums, that's what they would say. But it is obviously propaganda and a puff piece. So we know BB is now there. We also, spoilers, see a viral, like, underground mocking of Kingpin video where you're gonna watch and be like, "Yo, is BB doing that?" Spoilers, yes, she is.
Yes, she
in
is.
the least surprising turn of events in the history of surprises. That's like
the turn of event had more to do with the fact that, like, she's still going through with
well, we'll get into the why that's
right.
important. But they do reveal, oh no, it's BB. She's who, like, let me be perfectly clear, stupid. BB is being so dumb right now in regards to this. Whatever. Fine. Matt's in hiding after the assassination attempt in his apartment with Karen. Frank is nowhere to be seen. He escaped.
Yep.
Whatever. The task force now, I have to assume I have to assume the task force, the anti-vigilante task force, is like 10,000 people, because there are so many people.
So many of them?
There's so many. Like,
yeah, there is, man.
Current world politics aside, there are so many New York anti-vigilante task force members that I'm starting to be like, this is how Constantinople felt. Like, this was the fall of the Roman Empire. This is the fall of the Persian Empire. There's too many people, and they're not trained. Like, these are just, I don't even know that they're cops anymore. I'm starting to think he's just like at like bodegas, like, "Hey, who wants to shoot people?" Right. Like, what are we doing? The city is in martial law. All of New York is in martial law. Kingpin is beginning to feel pressure from the governor of New York. In all episode 1. Until somebody, played by Matthew Lillard, shows up, makes that pressure kind of disappear, and we get the impression that Matthew Lillard is a high-ranking official in the government that is working with or benefiting from Kingpin's crime shit that he's doing. All of his current crime shit. He has declared martial law. He has enacted an act for New York that says vigilantes are terrorists. So if you are accused of being a vigilante, just accused of being a vigilante, habeas corpus gone, due process gone, you are thrown into Guantanamo Bay. Like, that is just what happens. So there are a lot of people that are disappearing We don't have the details yet this early. But we do know that Matt is trying to get Cherry to find out as much information as he can about what Kingpin's doing, how this is working. And Cherry, God love him, is doing his best, right?
Yep.
He's an old man. He's too old for this. I think he was in The Wire, too.
As he possibly has.
Yeah. The only thing, it was a very introductory story, so I'm missing things, but I'm not trying to recap everything, just the cool parts of episode 1.
Yeah.
Is he and Daredevil have like a secret communication ability where like it's like an obvious check-in, like, hey, you doing cool? Hey, you want to have lunch? Yes. Hey, you want to have lunch? No. No means I am in trouble. Yes means we're cool. Everything's cool. The task force figures out that Cherry is helping vigilantes.
Yep.
As part of the La Resistance, right?
Yep.
So, as a result, they decide to break into Cherry's office, his house, his apartment, even though like he lets them in, but like they're, and then they tie him up and beat him until he tells them where Daredevil is. What they didn't know was that Daredevil was behind them the whole time. And Daredevil proceeds to fuck them up.
Yeah.
We see bone.
I mean, this man has like folded people's absolute elbows multiple times now throughout. Even I'm going back to last season. Like, you know what
he grunted.
He's first and foremost I know you're going on the recap of it.
No, good.
Every single time this man gets into something and the way that he pants.
Yeah.
Every single damn time. I'm like, this man is like he's going all in. He's going like Daredevil is going all in.
Is currently acting like every member of the AVTF slapped his mom.
Yeah.
He is not like, this isn't like I'm stopping criminals anymore.
Yeah.
This isn't I'm hurting bad people anymore. This is like, if they live, good. That's what I hope is the end result of this ass whooping. They survive.
I want you to remember this crap.
It is, it is not guaranteed that they survive. He is not killing people in the same way Batman doesn't kill people. Because technically, if you're in a wheelchair drinking out of a straw, you are not dead.
You're not dead.
He hears Cherry's heart start to fucking give out because he's like 68 years old and just got his shit pushed in by 2 cops. So he starts panicking.
Rough time for it, bro. It really has.
He starts panicking, and in that moment of panic, backup cops, or ATV, not cops. It's very important that I clarify, these are not cops.
Yeah.
There are no, to our knowledge, corrupt cops right now. There are only corrupt task force members who are not really cops. Right. You know, like, how do we describe them? So the task force members are coming in. One of them gets Daredevil while he's distracted, like just bang, pops him in the head. We, as the viewer, in this moment are like, wow, what a start to the season. They caught Daredevil. That's how we think. Until one of them takes his mask off and they're like, no fucking way, Matt Murdock is the Daredevil? And the second they say that, the person I'm watching with is like, oh, they're gonna die. Like that, he just said it. And I was like, yeah, but Matt's dead. So a cop puts the gun to Daredevil's head, And then you just hear funk, 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 funk. And then you see you're like, oh, wow. Someone just killed all the fucking task force. Dead, very dead. Very fucking dead. And it cuts to, he got these two cops through one eye, out his head, into another guy's head, and through his eye. Mm-hmm. So, we're like, oh, okay, is this Punisher? Is this Bullseye? And in the minute your brain is telling you, is this Bullseye? You see a something hit a wall, ricochet off a thing, and stick in the fucking ground. And it's a dagger with a bullseye carved in it that just says, you're welcome. And I'm like,
peak cinema. Peak cinema.
First of all, he doesn't know how to make friends. This is his best attempt.
You're right.
He's crazy. He's literally crazy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So Bullseye saves we don't know for the entire week that we have nothing to watch. We don't know if Bullseye saved Daredevil, killed the task force, or is literally just Agent of Chaos, whatever is happening. We have no idea.
I'm just bored. This is what I'm doing.
And then we're required to wait a week. But the good news is, Goof, I'll let you say something, is the second week they dropped 2 episodes because someone decided instead of the last episode of Daredevil, we're going to give you the entire Punisher movie that we shot. The 61-minute movie, the special feature, now instead of a month from now, because it was supposed to bridge between that and Spider-Man. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll take some free money with my money. Okay, cool. Yep. What are anything I miss in episode 1 of Daredevil? Any reaction or commentary you need to make before we get into the motherfuck that is episodes 2 and 3?
So for me, episode 1 was, so I went into this whole thing saying, man, season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, or season 4 of Daredevil, whatever you want to call it, right? I went into that saying, man, there were some really good moments in season 1. There were some fantastic episodes that were in there. There was, the episode of Matt Murdock being a terrible lawyer. For some reason, that was fascinating to me. I was like, he's terrible because he's not focused. I love that. There were when we finally any scene with Bernthal, the conversation between Bernthal and Charlie Cox, Punisher and Daredevil, was amazing. Love that detail. Love that conversation. Love the fight, the early fight between Poindexter and there was some great moments in there. There was some crappy moments, like the bank being held up. There was some things where I just didn't love it. But
you could tell many people too many cooks. Yeah. From season 1, you could tell. This only has the cook from episode 1 and the last 3 episodes. This entire season. So the guy who understood it is back running the show.
And you could tell, because from the very beginning, the most important thing to me was they wanted to establish a tone for the entirety of this season. And that mattered to me, because I needed to know from Jump Street, what are we doing? What matters? And how exactly are we building towards this thing? Because that was the thing with season 1. I didn't know where we were building towards. Things just got off kilter. This is a very clear, this is what we call a grounded story, right? This is what we call a very grounded story. And that's what we're getting here with Daredevil season 1. I love the fact that we're getting to see a little bit more action from Karen Page. I know some people may say that might, some people may feel like that might be forced. Personally, I think it's about damn time, because she's been in Daredevil now. This is her 4th season, right? So it's about time. Well, 3rd season, really, if you look at it from that. But you get the point. Like, she's been around since the very beginning.
She's not a secretary anymore.
Right. She's not.
She could have still been a secretary, anymore. But they chose to make that not true. So give her something to do. Exactly. And they're giving her something to do.
They're giving her something to do, and she's utilizing. I love the fact that they blended in some things between what she's learned from Frank Castle, but then also having the grittiness from Frank, but then also having sort of like the cerebral kind of approach to, you know, kind of doing things the legal way that Matt has. So there's a blend of both worlds. That's go. Love what we're seeing from her here.
The Ben Urich in her, she's representing every one of her mentors.
Yep.
Right? And she's doing a great job. Like, hats off to her for not being a Mary Sue. Right? Not being like, oh, I'm better than Daredevil. You're not.
You're not, right.
But being a full 3-dimensional character that has learned and is her own fucking person.
Right.
And disagrees with Matt. Like, she legitimately disagrees with Matt. She'd be like, Matt, I really wish you would just kill these motherfuckers. And he's like, I'm not gonna do that, Karen.
Yeah.
Let's fuck. Okay.
Right.
Truly.
The other thing I love about it is that they have done a really good job, in my opinion, so far of keeping what you would classify as lesser important characters, but still giving them enough highlights to add to the story. Like what's going on with BB, the thing that's going on with, you know, that connection that I forget, what is his name, Jester? I don't remember what his name is. I really don't remember what his name is. The guy that's like part of the communications management of you know.
Mayor Fisk, Daniel.
Is that his name? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how
James Gandolfini's kid.
Okay, cool.
They use him just enough.
Exactly. Like
we're starting to like him.
Yeah. Yeah. We are.
We're starting to feel for him.
Mm-hmm. That's the type of stuff I like. Like, great. I know what you're gonna give me with Matt. I know what you're gonna give me with Karen. I know what you're gonna give me with Kingpin. I know what you're gonna give me with Vanessa.
Actually, Vanessa is another one. She has a purpose. She is not Kingpin's wife. She is her own character.
Yep.
One of every character. The head douche of the task force. Powell.
Yes. And then the other guy that came back, like there's like these underlying story. There's a story with is it her name is Sheila, the chief?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice little story going on. Like they're just intertwining so many things, and they're giving each one of them a little bit of a moment to kind of add to the story. What they're doing with Bullseye is genius. We don't know what
he's doing. We have okay. All right. So let's go into 2 and 3 then, because it is one long episode. It really does feel like one long one.
Yeah.
So okay, like I'm not stopping you. It's just you're starting to get into stuff that we don't want to step on because we have, you know,
that's fair.
We got to talk about it. So episode 2 starts, and the world is now being fleshed out more.
Yep.
Duffy, Murdoch's partner, is representing the vigilantes. But the first one she's representing is Swordsman. Jacques Dufresne or Duquesne or whatever his name is.
Duquesne, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Duquesne, okay.
That guy.
So she's Lalo Salamanca. That's who she's representing. So, and who I love. Everything he does is phenomenal.
It's amazing.
Tony something. I forgot his last name. Anyway, he is being represented by her. So Duffy is doing something. So this character that was relevant in the first season a little has a job to do and is doing it. Heather is losing her goddamn mind.
The therapist is losing her mind. I love that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Now, it is often there's a mistake a lot of people make. And when you're an adult, you don't make this mistake. But if you are a child or have the mind of one, you tend to. If you hate a character, it is a sign of not only a well-written character, but a well-acted character. If you hate what a character is doing, it is a sign of a poorly written or poorly acted character. I will give you an example. Anything that Dane DeHaan does is an example of a poorly acted character. Because if I ever see Dane DeHaan on screen, whatever the writer and the director want me to believe is happening, I don't, because this guy is a sack of wet fucking cottage cheese. He has no emotion. Like, I'm sorry, this has become a Dane DeHaan hit piece. I feel bad. He's probably a nice guy. But I don't know why he's acting. Like, I don't know what's happening to Dane DeHaan. If you see a character and you're like, I don't...
That matters.
Chronicle, he was in ASM 2 as Harry Osborn. He was in...
Oh, that was him. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Something in the City of 1,000 Planets or whatever. Goddamn. He was in a bunch of garbage that is all shit because it was probably all shit anyway. I'm using that as an example.
To be fair, the movies that I remembered him in, they weren't great movies, but...
Calm down there, Tarantino. I was actually channeling a little Tarantino unnecessary hatred on a character. Like, but Tarantino's hating people that are, like, as far as I'm concerned, fine to good. I'm hating a known shitty actor. Not the same. That's like hating Jared Leto. Hey, how do we make our movie fail? Why don't we cast the guy who has never been in a blockbuster? Like, who is consistently losing money? Jared Leto.
Ouch.
Not a single movie he's been in has first of all, if he's in a movie, his scenes are getting cut. And if he's a main character in a movie, it fucking flops. We don't understand how Hollywood keeps casting him. Stop casting Jared Leto. He was Morbius.
It's connections. They gotta be it, man.
But dude, his connections are so great that they were like, we don't need to make money. Tron Ares didn't need to make money. Okay. God, terrible. Although, to be fair, Tron Ares had a lot of other problems. The point is... Oh, I hated the last Tron movie. But that's just me being a nerd. If you watch a movie or any character, think of Game of Thrones. There is a massive difference between the people who didn't like Daenerys before season 7, 6, 7, whatever, 8. I don't remember when it ended. Who cares? And people who didn't like her after. People who didn't like Daenerys in seasons 1 through 5 probably were assholes, just as people. Because she was a great actress, great character, well thought out, well designed, like, did everything. It made sense. Not everything was perfect, but nobody was perfect in Game of Thrones. So, like, what, except Tyrion. Tyrion was fucking aces. So, like, it was fine. But, like, as you got on and you're like, wait, why is Daenerys doing this? And then you have, like, the copium of, like, well, she's the Mad King's daughter. Of course she was going to go mad. Yeah, and you're supposed to... That doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up one day and go, oh, I'm insane. Like, no, it's a fall. You don't... You fall. Insanity is not a bullet train. It's a decline. It's a descent. It's not like you slowly methodically become insane because of things that happen.
Okay.
And it's just bad writing. Was her acting bad? Well, it didn't just get bad. She didn't go from like amazing actress, amazing actress, amazing actress, amazing actress, amazing actress, dog shit actress, can't fucking read. But you could tell when people were phoning it in because they're like, whatever, you have to pay me anyway. This is stupid, so I don't give a shit. Again, this is more of a Game of Thrones rant at this point. The point is, when you like a character or you hate a character, you give credit to everyone involved. The actress or actor did great. The writers did great. The director did great. But when a character does something that makes you go, oh, that was stupid, you're not hating the character. You're hating who put this together. And that is it. That is the problem with like when you could see, and sometimes there's just bad acting. Sometimes you watch a movie and everyone's acting poorly and you're like, yeah, but it's funny because nobody cares. And like in any 80s movie, every 80s movie, just go down the list. Every 80s movie, terrible acting. And it's fine because who gives a shit? Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a good actor. I don't believe him in any role he's ever been. But it doesn't matter funny, because every time he's in I watched Junior, baby. I don't believe Arnold Schwarzenegger is. At one point, there was one movie, this was Junior, where Arnold Schwarzenegger was a biologist. Yeah? They're like, let's put glasses on him. That'll make everyone think he's a biologist. He's like, yeah, we must figure out the formula. Like, shut up. No, we can't. Go away. Like, go lift something. Fuck. But it didn't matter because we're like, fuck it. Arnold Schwarzenegger will watch it in the 80s and 90s. Now, so the actress who plays Heather and everything about it is nailing it because I fucking hate that bitch. That's the whole reason I said this.
That's the whole reason why I went on this rant. Okay.
Because she's out there. She's breaking ethics by like falsifying reports and changing reports, right? And she's losing her goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Insane. Like she sees Muse. Yes, she went through a traumatic experience, which is why I understand what's happening. But that doesn't mean I have to forgive her for being a shit.
Yeah.
Heather, I don't wish her dead yet, but we're close.
Yeah.
We're close. We're close to me being like, oh, Kingpin got to kill her. She's got to be somebody to stand up to Kingpin and he snaps her neck. Like that is... Kingpin's a bad guy. No problem. Whatever. Heather's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And now in the reverse, right? Daniel is becoming more relatable. Daniel is like, look, Fisk is making my life easier. And he's helping people. I don't have to pay attention to the parts of this story that don't help me, which is incredibly selfish. But you're starting to see that he's not just a sycophant.
Yeah.
You're starting to see, like, he knows what he's doing. He has a conscience about it, and he is fighting it. He has a dinner with BB where he's like, hey, Fisk finds out the leaks of information are coming up. Everybody knows, Daniel knows who it is. I'm pretty sure everyone suspects it's BB anyway.
Yep.
And Daniel is like, no, I'm on it. I'll find out. Don't worry about it. I'll look into it. And he talks to BB and he's like, whoever is doing this has to stop or bad things are going to happen to them. Like, mine. Heather's done a 180 as a character this year. Matt's law partner is still insufferable, though. I think we don't have enough of her, like her arc yet, because she's just a foil to everyone. Heather Duffy, I think is her name. McDuffie. No, not Heather. Kristen McDuffie. Kirsten McDuffie. She's just a foil to everybody. Like, she's not as good as lawyer as Matt. So we know they made sure of us know that. She's a good lawyer, not as good as Matt. Then she took a massive L in an unwinnable case. Like, in the case with Duquesne, where it was like clearly against him. Everything was like, they rushed it. She even makes the comment, like, I think the press had more prep time than I did for this case. And the judge was like, nope, deal with it. Or you're held in contempt. Which at that point means you're a vigilante. Like, it could mean anything, right?
Yeah.
So Heather's like, fine, I guess. So in episode 2, we get a little bit of everything happening. Bullseye is just killing task force members for fun. For fun. Like, he's not... He's trying to find Matt's mom. I didn't know Bullseye knows that he's Matt Murdock.
Oh, I didn't clock that.
He asked for Sister Maggie.
Yeah.
He might not know it's Matt's mom, but he knows Sister Mag. He knows where Matt Murdock grew up. Bullseye's doing something. He's in, and the best thing is, at the first time we see Bullseye, everything is blue. Because they're using blue as the psychosis thing.
Yeah.
And then later we see Bullseye in a church, and the entire church goes blue.
Yeah.
So we could tell, oh, Bullseye's gonna kill this priest. Like, he already killed a priest in that church. From seasons before, when he killed the priest that protected Karen.
Yeah.
Then we get to the elevator, and they choose a cinematic that I don't think, a cinematography choice that I don't think many people picked up on. Only the light in the elevator changed blue. Not the screen. So they really are just trying to let us know Bullseye's crazy. He is not okay. He is an insane person doing insane... like, he dressed up in his costume to kill 2 task force members, and then he just fucked off for the rest of the episode. We couldn't find him.
Oh, man, the funniest thing ever, bro, was just watching the freaking elevator doors just, like, close it up. Raise it, open it back up, close it, open it back up. That was phenomenal.
We see... episode 2 and episode 3 is all kind of one story, but very specifically the end of episode 2. There is like 5 minutes left, and they're doing this cool thing where they're showing Matt and Karen in bed, and Vanessa and Fisk in bed, and Vanessa is shitting bricks because she's like, Bullseye's gonna kill me. I know Bullseye's gonna kill me. You know Bullseye's gonna kill me. Everyone knows Bullseye's gonna kill me. She's having nightmares about Bullseye. She's not doing okay. And she's like, hey, Wilson, do you want to fuck off to an island we own? And he's like, I hate sand. And she's like, but Bullseye's gonna kill me. Like, she's doing anything but saying she's afraid of Bullseye. Like, because she knows what happens if she says she is. Fisk is gonna go nuts. And then something bad's gonna happen and she's gonna get killed by Bullseye. Like, she just knows. She's like, I just want to fucking leave. Can we just we're rich. We don't need to do this. We have so much money. Can we just leave? What? That was a good Kingpin. I try, but I can't nail it all the time. I just love Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin so much. He's so good at it. Vanessa's freaking out about Bullseye. And that's a scene of, like, the two couples that we're following. And it's doing a great job of showing us, like, Matt and Kingpin are two sides of the same coin.
Yep.
They both have a goal. Their goal is the same. They are both choosing very different ways to do it. Like, that's... So immediately as that happens, the task force breaks into Josie's with 5 minutes left in the episode, and Daredevil kicks the ever-loving fuck out of more task force.
Task force people, yep.
They escape. Karen somehow runs across, convenience story device aside, right? She runs across one of the task force members who's actually sympathetic to the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, I guess. I will believe that. They interrogate him. Immediately, Matt's like, you're lying. My friend Tim is like, nah, he knows, doesn't he? They cut to him, like, whispering, he's telling the truth. I'm just trying to scare him. Karen's laughing. She's like, yeah, all right, do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I have no morals anymore.
Yeah.
And then we get hit with, I'm going to put the mask on. I'm going to hit you hard. And if anything that you said isn't true, if I find out you're lying, I will find you. And I'm like, this kid just shit his pants.
Yeah, big time.
This kid took his own pants off, shit in them, and put them back on. That's how scared he was. He was like, whatever you want, man. Daredevil punches him in the face. All of this is because Matt is trying to get back to that weapons cache that he found in episode 1. And he stashed a watch I don't even remember that happening, but he's like, I stashed a watch. I could find it. Okay, man, sure you did. Whatever, I don't care. Cool, you're Daredevil. Whatever. I believe you. Duquesne gets convicted. The task force is trying to kill Cherry. Doesn't work out. Kingpin is starting to lose his goddamn mind because everything is falling apart around him. The governor shows up and is threatening to rein in the Kingpin's leash on everything he's doing. I'm trying to think of if I'm going to miss anything before we get to the explosive ass finale. Did I miss anything that you want to bring up before we get to the finale?
No, it's fine. I think that episode 3 is really kind of where a lot of the meat's at.
So Daredevil gets into the facility that is both where Kingpin keeps his political enemies and vigilantes.
That scene was dope, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Because that was it episode 2 where Kirsten went into the facility to talk to Duquesne?
I don't remember if it's 2 or 3. I watched them together, so it's all one episode to me.
Okay, but I thought that moment was amazing because I mean when Matt goes to her and it's like, and she's like, hey, I had blindfolds on, and he's like,
I can work with that. Yeah, I can work with that.
I'm like that. Like,
yeah, she's like, there's water.
Perfect, Matt.
There's some birds. I walked down some stairs. And then I turned left. I have vague recollection of this. I'm very drunk. Daredevil's like, stairs, birds, water. I'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
He breaks into this facility. He finds the weapons and immediately hears that there are people being held there too. We also know now for a fact as the viewer, because we've seen them arrest regular fucking people. There was a store owner who was threatening a bunch of kids who were stealing from him with a gun. Unreasonable, I believe. Like an unreasonable action. And the task force came in and like, you're under arrest for being a vigilante. Like, we are really stretching vigilante thin. And then Hector Ayala's sister and the daughter of the next White Tiger, or the mother of the next White Tiger, I think, is there trying to like calm everything down, saying like to the cops like, "Hey, no, it's fine." And the cops,
that's her aunt, right? Too, right?
Aunt, mother, sister. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I've heard so many different descriptions of who she is from people that I'm just like, They're all related. Big family. The Ayala family's big. Whatever.
So we gotta backtrack a little bit because there's a couple other things to talk about. So
what?
Fisk. So we're in episode 3 now, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
We're okay. So we gotta talk about the fact that like Fisk is, I guess after Matt knocks the dude out or whatever, after they're talking about they figure out whatever, like Miss Fisk making a decision to basically throw a counter move of basically plastering Matt Murdock's face across the city, under the guise of a missing person. Freaking genius, like genius. So now you have the task force that's looking for Daredevil, and then you also now have the people, the vigilantes, essentially looking for Matt, which is so even when this dude just stays winning, like regardless of whatever,
and it was
like,
brilliant.
He stays winning.
It was brilliant that they chose to use that way to describe it, right? Like, what's his name? Buck was like, why don't we just tell them they're the same person?
Yeah.
And he's like, because then it looks like the guy who I'm hunting down is the same guy who saved my life.
Yeah.
And that's not a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Like, there's a good reason. They explained the reasoning. So nobody can be like, he should just have done this. Like, no. Yep. Perfect reasoning for that guy.
Yeah.
It made the most sense.
It did.
And now he's losing everything. He's feeling it. He's feeling the pressure from every angle. The governor, the State Department is coming down on him. He has some degree of protection from the CIA, but that seems like business related. He's going to owe a favor to Matthew Lillard. Like he's going to owe him a favor.
Yep.
And I'm not going into detail on why, but that's all part of this part. We are in 3. Daredevil finds the people. We now get a 2.5-minute scene of Daredevil deciding it is more important that he frees the prisoners than getting the weapons. So he frees the prisoners. One of the prisoners is Jack Duquesne.
Using the security card of the guy that he just knocked out, by the way.
Yeah. So he frees the prisoners while beating up ATF members or whatever. ATF, whatever. You know what I mean? The fucking
ATV,
group.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Task force.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Task force members beating the shit out of them.
Those a-holes.
He gives Jacques Duquesne, because he knows Jacques Duquesne's a sword master, he gives him 2 pieces of steel. And he's like, you could fuck people up with this, right? And he's like, let's find out. Proceeds to fuck people up with them. These people are not okay.
No.
Daredevil breaks a guy's leg. Everything is just so violent.
So freaking this season is so violent. Like
every episode has had a fight or a murder.
Yeah, 100%.
They're not like burying the lead on this. They're like, let's keep the things people like together. Mm-hmm. Daredevil gets the people out. The details of how are irrelevant, although very funny.
Yep.
And as they're leaving, a bunch the ship that they hired a bunch of random fucking nobodies to clean out, to like help move the weapons off of.
Yep.
The task force, right? The Northern Star. The task force makes them wait on the boat. They fucking Kingpin blows up the goddamn boat.
Yep.
Blows up the goddamn boat, killing all the people who did the work, capsizing it in the middle of the fucking thing, probably as an excuse to blame on Daredevil.
Yep, 100.
Which again, when you control the media, it doesn't matter what's real.
Yep.
Like if they're like, but you said Daredevil broke these people out. I said vigilantes did. Like,
yep.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he 100% did that for the sake of being able to blame it on Daredevil. Hey, he snuck in, he broke these people out. Well, here's another thing too. Like, would he want the public to know about Red Hook, about the people being in prison in Red Hook?
It's
Like,
known
would he
now.
want?
It's
Is it
known
known?
now. Yes, it is. Remember, the whole point was it couldn't be known before he bought the property.
Got it. Okay.
Like, that was that's why they killed Foggy. Because they needed the fact that was a free port, because it's a free port, therefore anything that happens in that port cannot be illegal unless the governor says it is. Unless the governor revokes the free port status. And the governor seems to be
Oh, that was the whole point, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason why Karen anonymously sent the red hook port information to the governor.
Yeah.
And the whole plan was that Matt would find a way to expose what was going on there, the smuggling or whatever, the weapons going on there, that would essentially force the governor's hand to revoke.
It's also, there's also something I think I might have glossed over. Matt and Karen are both operating under the assumption that if they reveal the truth, things will change.
Yep, true.
And they have no reason to believe that whatsoever. Right. Like, they're just like hoping and praying that, like, if we show everybody that the Kingpin is using this as for crimes, they'll do something about it.
Yeah.
One, the governor is dead. The governor is absolutely dead. And I'm pretty sure Matthew Lilliard's going to kill her.
Yep.
Or be responsible for it. So we at some point in the next 2 or 3 episodes, because it's an 8-episode season, and we have 3 down, so 5 total. At some point in the next 2 or 3 episodes, all is going to be lost.
Yep.
The governor is going to be dead. Like, someone's going to be kidnapped. Cherry might actually die. Right? Like, something is going to happen.
Like, something has to happen in order for Jessica Jones to show up on the scene to be like, oh, I'll help you now. Like, something has to happen from that perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I'm waiting for that ball. Not waiting for the ball to drop, but I know eventually that ball drops to the point where it's like, okay, here comes JJ.
Yeah,
JJ,
whatever path we have to take to get from where we are to Luke Cage, Mayor of New York. Mm-hmm. That's the path I want to take.
Yeah. Question: how do you feel about the whole Angela? What's her name? Is it Angela Del Toro? Her origin of becoming the White Tiger. How do we feel about that?
Please don't take this the wrong way. Both you and anyone watching and listening. I don't give a fuck about the White Tiger. I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't care about it. I'm noticing an issue though.
Yep.
If I'm doing math here, okay?
Too young.
Oh, well, that's sure. Let's take a roll call of the current Young Avengers. Who could be in the Young Avengers right now, okay?
Could be. Okay, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel. We got, there's still a
Ant-Man's daughter
somewhere, right?
Ant-Man's daughter.
Yeah, Cassie. So that's 3.
Wiccan.
That's 3 that we have. Oh, Wiccan. Yeah, Wiccan. Yeah.
By extension, his brother.
I'm going to say, as soon as we get to find his brother at some point.
Okay.
Did we count Patriot in there as a potential? Because he did show up in the Falcon and Winter Soldier
Who?
series.
Who?
Isn't his name Patriot?
Who?
Bradley?
Bradley.
Is
Isaiah Bradley's grandson.
Isaiah
or
Bradley's
whatever.
grandson. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Patriot. Fucking somehow Scar with his hairline. Oh, let me do my Scar haircut.
I think you were too generous with your hairline there, but all right.
Okay, you're right. They cannot do a Young Avengers because I don't give any fucks about the guys they got for the Young Avengers right now. I care exclusively about Ms. Marvel.
If they bring an Iron Lad, I'm like, they find some way to make that happen. I'm down.
Can't be Riri.
No,
she sold her soul to the devil.
Yeah, she's also kind of like not. Well, she is then again, Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, kind of around the same age. So that's not entirely true.
I just want to point out something. Haley Steinfeld is pregnant right now.
Yeah.
Her and Josh Allen are having a kid.
Yeah.
How many more years before we can't call Kate Bishop a Young Avenger anymore? They're doing nothing on that. They're like, hey, I have a plan. Nothing. Absolute fucking silence. Whatever plans they had going into Avengers fucking 5, they are like, bathwater, baby. We don't give a shit. Burn it all down.
But I mean, that's the problem when you decide to sort of kind of scrap and then start all over again, right? You whatever you've laid, the seeds that you've planted before, there's now no place for them to be watered and to grow. I mean, that's essentially what's going on right now. They've planted too many seeds that they can't fulfill because now they're going in a completely different direction. Like where is the question? Where is there a place for Young Avengers? What mission are we going to conjure up for them to have to deal with? Like there's nothing, especially if the next phase is supposed to be introducing the X-Men. There's nothing there for them, in my opinion. So, yeah, my thoughts on the Angela Del Toro White Tiger thing is I just like it's nice that they're doing it. It just feels a little bit out of place, just from the perspective of I think that she's just too young for anyone to care right now. Like, how many more seasons of Daredevil Born Again are we having? Are we having the 3, 4, 5 more seasons? Then maybe potentially that matters as she gets older or whatever the case is. But right now, whatever. Like it just doesn't seem viable as an option.
I don't know, man. Here's what I know. We'll get into a little bit more about Doomsday at another time, but at its core,
yeah,
nothing that's happened, like 3 things that have happened over the last X fucking years have been relevant. But Daredevil's ruling, and I can't help but think we are only going to get better as time moves on with Daredevil. Like it's a phenomenal well-written show.
Yeah.
So we move from that, and we're going to have different of opinion to the next topic, which is Invincible. Go ahead, Goof. You lead off on Invincible because I feel like yours is more in depth.
Potentially. So I'm not gonna recap because I that's 5 episodes is just far too much to recap. What I'll say about this season so far, season 4, um, so it's just coming as someone that is not as invested into the comics as others who would be may view this. I think this has been one of the better seasons, or probably the best season that they've had so far in the past 2 years, or the past 2 seasons. I thought season 2 and season 3, in my personal opinion, were kind of weak. This season has felt better. There's been a little bit more investment on the relationship between Mark and Eve. I feel like there's been a little bit more of a growth, and all not even growth, it's just more of a realistic perspective of a character in Mark that has gone through some trauma that he is now being forced to deal with, and making mistakes that are now causing him to second guess himself in a realistic way, not like kind of season 2 and season 3, or what they presented in season 2 that they never fulfilled really in season 3. And so I think that there are some things that, in my personal opinion, that I like better. What I will say about that also is it's it's a little bit frustrating at times going through how they sort of like release their episodes. Like, number one, I will say this, like, the first 4 episodes were all different. They didn't really intertwine or connect. And in an 8 episode season, that is a risky approach, because I think you run the chance of probably losing a few people when you're it's like, well, episode 1 doesn't really connect to 2, 2 doesn't really connect to 3. Okay, there's some threads in 4, but you know what I mean? Like, that's still a risky move to make, in my personal opinion. With that being said, I think that they did a good job of tying some things in this episode 5 that mattered a little bit more. I could have dealt without episode 4. I thought episode 4 was,
Perm?
yeah, that was annoying. The whole episode, because I don't know who it was for. I don't know what story they were really trying to tell. And maybe it's because of my immediate sort of like resistance a lot of the times to like stories related to hell and all those things,
Sure.
especially in contrast, and when they're making the contrast between heaven and hell. And I don't think that there's a way that you can talk about hell sometimes without there being some sort of connection to heaven, whatever, in any sort of which way, because that's the
Yeah, that's your
antithesis,
fate,
right,
man.
of each other. So to me personally, though, it wasn't so much about that aspect of it as more of just like, once again, I think that they weren't sure who they were trying to reach, and that reflected sort of in the reviews that they got to. Like, I believe that episode was the worst rated episode in the entirety of the 4 seasons that they've done so far. So I think that kind of shows as well. But with that being said, like, I like this season so far. I thought, man, episode 5 was brutal. Episode 1 was and 2 were equally brutal. I liked seeing that Mark is making decisions, or bad decisions, based on issues that he has not dealt with internally. I like to see that Oliver is not just an absolute brat and brute, but actually has some emotions behind the reason why he's making decisions. I like the
Sure.
fact that that Omni Man came back to Earth, thinking that things would be okay by making amends, but then at the end of the day, like, that crap didn't work, because you also did kill a crap ton of people. It's so like there's no like real recompense when it comes to that. I will also say this: Chicago is rivaling Gotham and New York City. I know we talk about a lot of these places that are the worst places to live. Like Chicago is maybe the worst of all three. Gotham and New York City. I think Chicago has taken the cake as being sort of like one of the worst places to live whatsoever. But I'll say this, man. Like I think Invincible has done well this season. I've liked where they've gone so far in terms of just being able to progress Mark a little bit further. And the other little side stories are cool, but it's really more so about like Mark. And that's why the episodes without him don't really grab me as much, because I'm more invested into him as a character than and Eve, like as a character, than anyone else. But there's been some good points that I've enjoyed so far.
Well, we agree on one thing. Episode 4 was boring. And that is insane that I could say that. What I do know is I am sick and tired of Invincible's pacing.
Okay.
It is incredibly slow and boring. I do not like it.
Okay.
I've read, as somebody who's read all of Invincible and incredibly familiar with it, I am pretty aggravated. Excuse me.
Yep.
That this is what we have to deal with. There is so many cool things happening in Invincible at pretty much any given time. That the fact that now and currently we have gone through 5 episodes of Invincible. They threw in this silly episode of showing Invincible doing stuff. Episode 1 was good. Episode 2 was good of Invincible. 3, 4, and 5, I'm like, what are you guys doing? How are you pacing this?
So to add to what you're saying, like episode 5, they did kind of lull you to sleep for the first half of it, didn't they? Like they 100% lulled you to sleep. They were just like, oh, here's this battle. The coalition is at whatever. The Viltrumites, they're coming. We got to go stop them. And they took like 26 minutes to do. Let's have Nolan come back to Earth, try to make amends for the crap that he did. Hey, we have this cliffhanger of them still not having Eve tell Mark what's going, like she's pregnant, like all these different things that are going on. This last dinner, whatever the case may be, like it's all that going on, and then oh yeah, that's right. Now they're gonna now the Viltrumites come out and attack them. Like honestly,
okay,
I think they were banking everything on the rematch between Mark and Conquest. And in a lot of ways, like that fight was not epic. It wasn't. Like it, you know what I mean? Like it was brutal, but it wasn't epic.
When is Mark gonna stop being a crybaby?
Yeah. Never.
I'm not mad that Mark is an emotional person when he's with his family and with his friends and with Eve. That's fine. That's who Mark is as a person. That's actually one of his strongest features. Here's my problem. Season 4's ending was, I won't let anyone hurt my family again. I have learned not to do that. I have learned not to do that. Season 1, he kills that guy. He kills the Martian. Episode 1 of the season, sorry, season 4. He kills that guy, pops his head off. Did he have to kill that guy? No. Do you blame him for killing that guy? Absolutely not.
No.
Made perfect sense. Should have done it faster. Yeah. There was one.
Fair.
Once he was gone, the fight was over.
Yep.
Well, technically, all the people had to be cleared. So no, that was fine. Episode 2, he almost killed the dinosaurs. Didn't. He was able to hold himself back because he understood that guy wasn't threatening his family, right?
Yeah.
Episode 3, we got the Klaxon invasion, and then they were like, oh shit, what's happening to those other 2 people? Don't worry, we're going to take some time off, and we're going to have Mark fight demons in the underworld. Yeah. Great. Okay,
was that
cool.
That was episode 4? Yeah, that was 4. The
3 or 4, whatever.
Thing was 4.
I don't even remember 3. I don't even remember 3.
What was 3 again? I think, 3 was Nolan and Alan trying to go find all those.
The Nolan and Alan episode, which was fine. Which was fine. It was a fine episode. I enjoyed it. It was funny.
Me and you both just forgot about it. And had to jog our memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. That entire episode could have been an interstitial among episodes 1 and 2. And then and 3. They could have taken episode 1 and 2 and cut it in a way where we also saw what Nolan was doing. We didn't need a full fucking episode for Nolan. Although I always do appreciate whenever Mark is having sex, they cut to Alan. That is a joke I love. We're going to give these kids some time to fuck while we talk about what Alan the alien is doing. Because that's the story. Alan, and that's what's happening. Fine. We get to episode 4, complete nonsense. We get to episode 5. Nolan comes back. He sees 2.5 people, right? He's like, Mark, we got to do this. Oliver comes by. Great, cool. Hey, Mark. Why are you pulling your punches?
Good question.
Why are you Mark does say the hardest line of the entire series, the last episode, to Conquest. He says, "You're never gonna breathe again." And I was like, okay, that was cool.
Yep.
You could have ripped his head off. You should have ripped his head off.
Should have ripped his head off.
Why are you holding back?
Right.
And guess what? Because Mark was held back, because Mark was committing, he knew he was going to kill him, but he was committing to it. Mark is now completely incapacitated. How strong is Mark? It is my understanding that Mark is the strongest person on Earth. By a mile. In terms of physical strength. It is also my understanding that Mark has gotten stronger and will proceed to get stronger. Much like Gohan or Trunks. They will get stronger because they are half Saiyan, half human.
Yeah.
I needed that fight with him in Conquest to take 13 seconds. I needed Conquest to have said something about Eve, Mark to just see red for a second, and then Conquest's head to be floating in space. I am sick of Invincible's pacing. Invincible's pacing would be great if we were getting 12, 15, dare I say 22 episodes of a season. Yeah. And they're trying to fill the slots in. I think we were talking about the other day where how far we're into the story of Invincible. I can't even predict it because how long are they going to take to tell the story of Robot and fucking Monster Girl on Flaxen? Yeah. That's a big fucking story. There's a lot going on there. We technically don't find out what happens until they come back.
Yep.
And then we find out what happens in a very long story that can't be done justice in one episode. So we're going to get a 30-second recap of what happened? No? Yes? Maybe? I like that.
That's what's going to happen. You already know that's what's going to happen. You're going to get a very short amalgamated version of a story of like, hey, this is what we did. So take 2 seconds to explain it, and then we move on. Like, that's what's going to happen. Just unfortunately, that's just the reality of it.
I'm spoiled by One Piece.
See, that's your problem.
That's my problem. That's my problem. It's the same reason like I'm spoiled by video games. I'm spoiled by Baldur's Gate 3. Because every game I play now, that's a AAA game. If it's not as good as Baldur's Gate 3 to me, I'm like, oh, it's a useless game. I don't have to fucking. I've spent hundreds of dollars on games over the last, I'm going to say year at least, but probably over the last 6 months. Yeah. And none of them have costed over $20. I have bought and played more games that cost $5, $7, $10 and enjoyed the shit out of them because they're small games that are quick. They have good story, or maybe the graphics aren't great, but the gameplay is fun. And because every time I've touched every AAA game I've touched, Black Myth Wukong, every AAA game I've touched, I've been like, it's fine. It's good. Look, it's good. I enjoy it. It's not Baldur's Gate 3. It's not 500 hours of potential gameplay. It's not, oh, a patch came out? Well, I have to start again and give another 20 hours to this game because something changed. It's not, I want to play as a different person. Or a different idea, or do something differently than I did last time. Which, again, that's for me. It's not for everybody. But I'm the same way now. One Piece is so good. As both a fan of the story, the comic, and a person who doesn't have the time, that it's almost worth the time it's taking for them to make it. Almost. Okay. But I'm realistic. I don't know how far they're going to go. I think One Piece is going to get 4 seasons, maybe 5. I think we're going to get... I don't think we're going to get to the time skip of One Piece, for anyone who's aware. I think we're going to either get to the time skip or just before the time skip and never a second. But we're not getting the battle. We're not getting the big battle at Marineford. But we can't. Their pacing is doing well, but they're taking too much time to make it. The actors cannot play these characters for another 12 years. They just can't. It's not possible.
You got 5, 6. I mean, so, I'm trying to remember, like, how old is like McKenna and Emily Rudd? Like, they're the older ones of the cast, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. When you turn 30, you don't look the same as you do 22. Emily Rudd is 31. McKenna is 34. I think Taz, the guy who plays Sanji, is 29. Sanji? I think Usopp is 24. He's young. I think Luffy is 21. So, like, cool. But I don't know how old Vivi is, the new actress that's playing Vivi. It's just, it sucks that live action means they're going to have to recast if they want to do a separate. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they're going to get the best they can out of these characters, and then they're going to start another arc, and they're going to cast new people. But like, it's the same problem with child actors. That said, Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox is 43 fucking years old.
Yep.
He was shirtless in the last episode.
Oh, damn, dude was Adonis. He was.
That was the first time we saw Charlie Cox without a shirt on. We've seen him in like ripped. Bro. We've seen him in like tattered garbs and bandaged. But the first time we've seen him be like, "Hey, look at me, bro." 43 years old. Maybe 42 when it was filmed. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was on point.
But the idea is they cast all these young people to play these young characters, and the irony of One Piece is that like everything up to Marineford, I think, is like a total of 2 months, 2.5 months. So the entire story of One Piece that they're going to tell over 5 seasons, maybe 4 or 5 seasons, is roughly 3 months of human time. It's hard to maintain that. And that's the difference of animation, not anime, both, anything. Invincible, Sandra Oh could be 90 and still voice Debbie. Steven Yeun, I don't even care how old he is. He could be a 16-year-old for the rest of his fucking life if it's voice acting. So if you have animation, I watched a video that was talking about how, okay, Invincible, stop paying for celebrity voice actors now. But just stop. Just stop doing it. We don't care anymore. It's cool that, and again, like there's some that you get all the time, like actual voice actors. But like Conquest voice actor for the 2 episodes, it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It was the from The Watchmen, the comedian, or from Supernatural, the dad. Actually, no, better. The Boys, the Cancer. That's who he was in The Boys. He was the Cancer.
Really?
Yeah, he was the visualization of cancer that Butcher talked to. That's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's a known actor and a very Negan in Walking Dead for anyone else. Like, he's a known actor. Like, they got him to do that. Did I notice it was him? Not really until someone told me, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. They didn't pay him nothing. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not trying to step on people's graves, but like, what are they paying the voice? Like, where's their budget? Because their budget is definitely not going into cool ass fight scenes. And it's definitely not going into writing, storyboarding the existing story in a good pace. That's my issue with Invincible. I'm already, last season I told you, I was like, I'm fucking halfway out the door on this one, man. Like, from the pacing of the 4 and 4 episodes. But at this point, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. I'm sure it'll have good episodes. I'm so happy that I don't have Amazon Prime. Because even watching it, I'm happy they don't have a record of me watching it. You know what I mean?
A bit. Okay.
Honestly, it's how I like. There are 3 episodes left in this season.
Yeah.
Is this? Are you? Do you believe you're going to be fulfilled with the story arc at the end of this season?
No, I don't think so. Because I don't think that there's a way to. All right, this is what I foresee happening. Right, there's going to be there has to be a fight. No, number one, actually, first and foremost, the very first thing is now you potentially may have to do the rest of this fight without a fully ready Mark. Mark may not even be able to fight. You also now have to wrap up the story between the new chick and Alan. Like that, there has to be something that pops in that way. Like, I don't know what the hell that is, but like There got to be something there. I assume that you didn't put in a cliffhanger of whatever the heck was going on in episode 4 with that guy, if for no reason. You also need to discuss the fight itself has to happen. Like the fight has to happen. Like there has to, and in my head, that can't just be one episode. That has to be episode 6 and episode 7. Like it can't just be one episode, or episode 7 and part of episode 8. You know what I mean? Like there has to be that, and then there has to be a cliffhanger of, oh, I'm pregnant. Like
no, she's gone. We're not. No, that's the problem. We can't have that story. So, spoilers, in the comic, Eve gets an abortion while Mark's off.
Oh, that's what happens. Okay. Well,
yeah, spoilers. Now, they might not do that, but they should. Like, excuse me.
That would be rather interesting if they do go that route. Okay.
Eve gets an abortion while Mark's off world, because Mark's off world fighting the Viltrum War. Eve gets fat too, because she feels guilty about getting the abortion because she never told Mark. So Eve gets fat. I will be clarify when I say fat. Eve gets thick.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. No, I don't want to come across as if I'm shaming Eve. I am not shaming Eve. Eve is thick. She puts on weight in the correct places as how it's drawn. But like she's struggling with it because Mark's gone. It's taking him 2 weeks to get to the. Mark's gone for a while.
Okay. So that's not going to get wrapped up this season, is basically what you're saying. Like that is 100% going to just be like so in your mind, the way that you see this going is that at the end of the season that Mark is still away. That's what you're foreseeing.
His stomach is hanging out on the fucking floor. Yes. They don't have a ship. What are they going to do? Skip forward in time 3 weeks till Mark being healed?
Yeah.
Like, none of it makes sense.
Yep.
This episode was the way to end the season. Because now you're like, oh shit, like before the war. Or this episode should have happened in episode 3. So now, and they could have done it. They could have done the garbage waste time episode. No, because they needed Mark. I just don't understand what's going to happen in this season as someone who's read the books that's going to make all 8 episodes feel like a worthwhile fucking season of television.
Okay.
I just can't see it. And that's my hatred of when you take something that exists and you want to tweak stuff, you want to change stuff, you want to speed and ignore and update and modernize stuff, fine, do whatever. But like it still has to be good at the end of the day. It can't just be different. It has to be also good. If it's not improved, it doesn't matter. And that's why if you want to take risks, write your own fucking story. But that's neither here nor there. That's my thoughts.
Well, I mean, the one thing that you mentioned it a little bit earlier, or I think probably when we were talking, is at least they have the showrunner is the guy that freaking wrote the story, right? So at least they have him. But even then, in your opinion, they're still not doing it in a meaningful way. So what would you envision then that would fix this? Like what would you say would be the fix for this then?
6 months from now, another 4 episode drops to wind out this season. That's the only thing I can see that fixes what's happening right now. Like another 4 episodes to round out the entire arc. Mark comes home. finds out that Eve had an abortion while he was gone, and then they still have to deal with all the other stuff. Like the first season of Angstrom Levy, season 3, was great. The last good season of Invincible was season 3. Season 4 had cool shit in it, but it wasn't good. And then we moved to season fucking 5, right? Or whatever, 5, right? I think we're on 5. 4? No, then the last good season was season 2.
See, season 2 was good for half of the season for me. Like I enjoyed half of the season. Season 3, honestly, very forgettable. I don't really remember other than the him fighting a bunch of himself. Even like the conquest fight, I was like, cool. You know what I mean? And this is nothing against Eve. Like Eve is great. However, I just got to the point where I just got to the frustration point again of like, when the heck is Mark gonna F some stuff up? Like when is he gonna like F some things up instead of always having to be saved or not being able to fulfill? Like when is he gonna finally step into that era? And right now he's not. Like, to me, that's like, as someone who's not read the comics, I just want to see Mark go ham. Like, I just want to see Mark just like lay hands and start whooping some ass. That's all I want to see. We're 4 seasons in, and I haven't seen him whoop ass yet. I've seen him do some things, show off some power, it's fine. But when am I gonna see him bust somebody's ass? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to. Like, the whole, like, here's the thing. He gave a hard line. The thing was brutal. We saw the stomach falling out. Don't get me wrong. Like, I ate that crap up. I ate it up. I liked it. However, I couldn't also help but think, damn, I would have liked to have seen him throwing some blows at Conquest. Like, I wanted to see a brawl. I wanted to see a smackdown, drag it out. I wanted to see that. And then he wins in the end. That's what I wanted to see. I didn't see that. When am I going to see Mark do that? We're 4 seasons in, and Mark is still getting his ass whooped. Like, when is he going to start whooping some ass? I don't understand. What are we waiting for? Here's the thing. This is what I always say. Comics are great for you to follow as a baseline. But when it comes to telling stories, we don't got 12 issues to wait, fam. We don't have 15 issues to wait for this. This is not an ongoing series.
Honestly, that's the reason comics are dying right now. Because they're still sticking to their infinite fucking idea of, we're going to tell this story over 6 months.
Right.
And it's like, dude, now? No. Impossible.
Which is you could tell why you could just wait for the trade paperback instead of actually buying the individual comic book issues, et cetera. Yeah.
Even then, dude, like, when I was into comics, it was like $7 a month. Well, it was like $10 a month. No, it was cheaper. It was so cheap to have comics delivered directly to your house, like subscription comics.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even have, they were actually really cool too, because they didn't have barcodes, because they were made specifically ready to order prints.
Okay.
That, like, I used to have comics delivered, like 3 or 4 comics delivered to my house every month. And then it was like, oh, it's like a magazine. Like, fuck, whatever, I'll read what's going on. But it was dirt cheap. It was like 3 or 4 comics delivered to my house was like $15. Eventually, they did away with that because they're like, we're not making as much money as we could, which didn't matter because the comic book stores started doing subscription things, like where my local comic book store would be like, yeah, just any comic you want, we'll pull for you, and just come pick it up whenever you want. So I'd give them a list, and it would be like, we'll give you 10% off too, the same basic rate, you know. So like I would do the same thing for my local comic book store, but I wouldn't pick them up on the day. Like I wouldn't read them the day they came out. I would be like, oh, it's Tuesday, the third Tuesday of the month. I'll go pick up the comics. How many comics are here? 4 weeks worth of multiple comics? Yeah, okay, cool. It's the same thing. Like Invincible was a comic book, but it released in trade paperbacks. You know, like it was. They were thick.
It was like 7 of them a piece or something. Like it was like 7.
So many.
Yeah. Like if I were to read it now, like that's how I would read it. I'm not gonna read issue by. I'm like, just give me the trade paperback and I'll just go through it that way.
And the same thing, you had mentioned Kirkman is involved in the work of the show. Yeah, but is he? Is he involved in it, or is he involved in it until Amazon gets its grubby fucking fingers in it and like, you can't do this, you have to change this, you have to do that. Like Netflix it's been very open to everybody that Oda is completely in charge of One Piece. Netflix is just like, this is your budget, make us money. And Oda's like, got it, especially after season 1 was so successful. Yep. So nailing it. Apple TV has been wishy-washy. Apple TV has, because Jon Stewart used to have a show. What was it about? It was on Apple TV. He would say something, and he even admitted it later. He's like, Apple would send me messages saying like, you can't say anything bad about this, or this. And he's like, I won't be censored. Like if I have something to say about them and they're doing something bad, I will say it. Like, so I don't know. There's some degree that makes sense to me of like, hey, you know, like, let's not be insane. Like you should have a standards and practices. But I feel like Kirkman's like, this is what I want to do. And Amazon is like, your budget is this much. We're paying this much. Don't cover this topic. Same thing with The Boys. You know, I feel The Boys is getting notes from people that changes things. And I don't know why. Because The Boys comic and The Boys TV show are so different now that like there's no amount of information that I can say with confidence will happen in the next season. I have no idea how it's gonna happen. Because it's an adapt. It doesn't matter that the guy who wrote The Boys, Garth Ennis, I think. It doesn't matter that he is involved with the show in any capacity, because his story is now based on, not inspired, not even, or inspired by, not even based on, you know? Yeah. Whatever. Like, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm just not enjoying it. And that's the major difference. I don't care. Like, I'm not buying Invincible stuff because the show is not good enough for me to buy Invincible stuff. I'm not buying an Invincible fucking hoodie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how they make their money. They make their money by, you know, it's not just the show. It's everyone had a Game of Thrones fucking something. You know, like, everybody had stuff. Fuck, people had Seinfeld stuff and Friends, the fucking door thing. Like, people buy stuff related to the things they like. I just don't think Invincible matters that much anymore. Especially because we have good stuff. So when you compare good stuff to schlock, it's getting there. But speaking of comparing good stuff to schlock, we can move on to the final topic for today. Well, final-ish topic. The Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, quote-unquote, trailer. The full trailer that dropped, which we're not going to watch because I don't care to, because I don't think it was... It was as...
Yeah. we want to really just go in on it.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't like the trailer. Right, I didn't like the trailer. I felt like there was. I didn't like the trailer, but I like the story that was being told in the trailer. Can both of those things be true? Like, I feel like both of those things can be true, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't like the trailer, but I like the story that's being told in the trailer. The
Did
reason I
you
didn't like the
not? Did
trailer,
you hate the trailer, or you just didn't think it was good enough?
no, I didn't think it was good. I just felt like it was too much going on at once. Like that's kind of like my brain was just having a hard time processing everything that was happening. And I think they were trying to show us like a lot of really cool things, and I feel like I didn't need to do that because the story that you were telling through that was sufficient enough to where the trailer didn't need to be so fast paced. And I feel like they were just trying to show me all the cool things that are gonna be happening. Lobo, hey, Lobo. Remember Lobo? Hey, Lobo. You know what I mean? And I was just like, whoa. Like the story that you were telling, which is an accurate story, by the way, of her, her life and Superman's life are very different. You know what I mean? Like Superman got to Earth, he was a baby, he got to
Yeah.
grow up with parents. Kara, no. Like that was not her story. Her story is a lot more traumatizing, which is the reason why she goes and gets drunk. You know what I mean? Often is because of the trauma, the PTSD that she has. So, and then of course now the story being something like this whole that this is why like I thought they did a poor job of doing this is they didn't rest in the moment of something happening to crypto, and then that's the reason why she's on this path that she's currently on. They kind of made it an undercurrent of the story while also highlighting it with like undercurrent of the actual visuals of the story while making it an undercurrent like it's an undercurrent there, but then talking about it so much that it kind of lost the essence. Like I was taken away from that aspect of the story. So I'll say this. I think that the story that they're trying to tell could be good, but I am concerned with what I'm seeing in the trailer because I'm like, is this what the movie is gonna be? There's just a lot of things going on all the time, and then we're not able to actually rest in the Like we should feel like traumatized with her. Are we going to get that experience? Because that is my concern based on what I see in this trailer. You can go.
So, oof. Okay, let me think about this.
I might have came in too hot, but yeah, go ahead.
No, let me. I appreciate the fact, truly, that
Yeah.
we are finally getting a version of Supergirl that is not, I don't want to say comic accurate because like there's different versions of every character, right?
Yeah.
I'm just very happy we're finally getting a version of Supergirl that aligns opposite what so many comics and versions of Supergirl we've seen already has done. Like we're not getting the CBS Supergirl show, which eventually became the Arrow Supergirl show, which I thought was very good. Overall. Very enjoyable show overall, actually. Um we're also not getting like a fish out of water, confused, unaware version of Supergirl. we are getting a version of Supergirl that has never been seen, except for by comic book fans. And that is the one you had mentioned, the one who is struggling, the one who is suffering, the one who is not, the one who lost her home world.
Okay.
You know, like that's it. We're getting the Superman never knew his home, and that's sad. And Supergirl lost her home, and that's infinitely sadder.
Yep.
So she's always had that to her, but this arc, Woman of Tomorrow, has always been more focused. How they're choosing to show that, it seems good. I when I watched the trailer, like I said, John Wick a little, like, oh no, dog is sick.
Yeah.
Immediately we're like, fuck him up. Fuck up whoever did that. Fuck that person up forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't hurt a dog in my America. We're getting a little bit of story, even though like we know what it's adapted from. So like if you want to know, look it up. Like you don't have to worry.
Yeah, Supergirl.
Which is actually a pretty reasonable thing from all of DC content, with the exception of Zack Snyder. Historically, when DC has put out something, it has been an adaptation of something else. And this is before, you know, like even Batman Begins, the first Batman Begins movie, which I did actually appreciate, even though I do give shit to it, was based off of Batman Year One. Or not Batman Year One specifically, that was more The Batman. But it was based off of a run of story that makes sense. And being based off of something people can relate to is reasonable. It's all like Joker's version was based off of a story. The Joker movie was based off of a story told by the Joker in not The Killing Joke, but one of his specific arcs to describe what he was as a person, like a comedian. And it actually was fleshed out later in the Three Jokers storyline, which fucking ruled. For if you're interested in covering something fun, Three Jokers storyline was actually really good.
Okay.
I'm interested in watching this movie because I don't care about Lobo. I love Lobo, but like I don't care that you're putting Lobo on screen. I don't care that Millie Alcock is Supergirl. Yes, she's awesome. I don't care about any of the things that are happening, but this is a story that's never been told before.
Yeah.
So there's a chance it won't suck. Superman has an infinite number of comparisons. Christopher Reeves, fucking Brandon Routh, infinite number. John Daly as the voice of Superman in Superman the Animated Series. Like there are visual versions of Superman that you can compare things to. We don't have a version. We have versions of Supergirl to compare this to. I don't know that this is the version of Supergirl that the most people want.
Yeah.
And because I'm a cynical asshole, that makes me already like it.
Have people been saying, because I haven't seen anything.
Maybe
that's because my algorithm's not showing me that. But like
I have multiple algorithms, as you know, because I have multiple accounts that I specifically train my accounts to show me things that I want to see and things that I don't want to see. So I know what's happening. Because you can't live in an echo chamber your entire life. I have seen a non-negligible amount of vitriol regarding this version of Supergirl. And by non-negligible, I don't mean the the He-Man Woman Haters Club has come out to hate women. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, well, I mean,
like there are.
I mean, like apart from them, though, you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
them.
that's what I'm saying. That's the negligible part.
Okay.
There is a non-negligible part of people who are reacting to this version of Supergirl based on what their understanding of Supergirl is, which is not wrong. Like, they're not wrong. Like normies aren't wrong for not knowing things. I could spot a normie a mile away because they tell me their favorite Marvel character is Iron Man. I'm like, you've been a Marvel fan for 15 years. Great. Because anyone who said their favorite Marvel fan was Iron Man prior to 2010, when the first one came out?
2000.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 2010.
7?
No, we'll say 2010. Any Iron Man fan before Robert Downey Jr. became Iron Man, that was a motherfucker that you could trust your life with, because that guy was a diehard.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man was not eating well in any period of time. Iron Man was the fake bad guy in the first Civil War comic, and was widely regarded as fuck that guy. It wasn't even like
even like
60-40. It was like 80-20. 80-20 was the separation. Marvel was like, hey guys, we're going to do a poll. Fuck, no we're not. We changed our mind. We thought it would be closer.
Yeah.
80-20, fuck Iron Man. It was so much fuck Iron Man. So much fuck Iron Man that the second Civil War, they had to make Carol Danvers Iron Man, so we would hate her instead. And it didn't work because we just hated everything about the story. That's why Civil War 2 is widely regarded as dog shit. It wasn't good. And anytime I see a video that's like Civil War 2 was actually really good, I put that in the same category that are like the prequels were actually good. I'm like, you're an idiot. Go fuck yourself. Dog shit. Star Wars, obviously. That's the same thing. I don't care when you're a fan. I don't care what makes you like the stuff. And I'm not even going to judge you for only knowing the part of it you know, but I do have to be cognizant of the fact that there's a large number of people that know Supergirl from, at most, her Arrowverse version. Maybe if you're a little older, you remember Supergirl from like Christopher Reeve's spinoff, and somewhere in the middle you can maybe see Supergirl as Kara Vandervoort from Smallville, but even then, nobody really. Yeah. Smallville was its own fucking thing, you know. Like, you just go, whatever. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to this movie not sucking. And I hope I'm right. I hope that this movie is fun, because it looks like they're telling a good story with fun characters. And I hope that people who are going into this movie expecting something that they're not going to get come out going, wow, I did not expect that. That was good. That said, I've said many times, I have no faith in fucking James Gunn. And I know he's not directing it, but like, whatever. I trust Peter Safran. I think James Gunn is like a dog, and Peter Safran has the extending leash with the grip. So like James Gunn's gonna be like, orgy scene in this TV show, and Peter Safran's like, tone it down a notch. She's like, fine, quick orgy scene in this TV show. Fine. What if we like at some point? At some point, someone said, we're going to make a Clayface movie. And nobody was like, why the fuck would we do that? And it's that reason that I'm like, the script to Clayface has to be fucking insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could talk about Superman and Supergirl and whatever the next James Gunn thing is in the James Gunn DCU. We could talk Peacemaker. We could talk about all of it, right?
Yeah.
If the Clayface movie is good, if I'm not even saying great, God help us if it's great. If it's good, if it's an enjoyable movie that makes sense and is good fun to watch, or at least entertaining to watch, that means that James Gunn is dead serious about scripts have to be good. If the movie is utter dog shit, then we can no longer trust James Gunn's opinion on scripts. That's it.
Okay.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
If you're I've been a little open on some things, but like I very much want, and I've been working on this, and a little spoilers for anyone who knows what my side hustle and gigs are. I want the IP to Mega Man. I love Mega Man so much. Yeah. I want to talk to Capcom and say, just put me in charge of the IP of Mega Man for 5 years, and it will be a $1 billion industry with video games, better video games than you've been coming out with, I promise you. Mobile games that are making you $1 billion, a TV show, a live action TV show, like my love of Mega Man is insane. I don't talk about it a lot because it's like weird, but like everything about it, going Mega Man into Sigma, like all of the arcs, even Battle Network, I can write it all. I have treatments on this, and I'm working towards it. To this day, like, this is a goal of mine. I want to do this. You better believe that if a Mega Man thing comes out with my name on it, it's going to be the best version of whatever that thing is that's possible. Because I will not cut corners. I will not make compromises. I will be like, it is this or we don't do it. That is what I'm saying. If James Gunn found a script to goddamn Clayface that is worthwhile to watch, I trust James Gunn implicitly. If he is throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, God.
Don't you think he kind of has to throw some things at the wall to see what sticks, though? To a certain extent, like he kind of.
Why? We haven't had a comic book accurate DC universe ever.
This is what I say. I think that doing Supergirl or doing a Supergirl movie in a lot of ways is kind of throwing something potentially and seeing if it sticks. Now,
I would agree if it wasn't based off the best-selling Supergirl comic of all time. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
but hear me out though. It's also a Supergirl movie in a time frame where he knew that there was gonna be some people who were gonna be like, you know what? I don't know about this, fam. Like Supergirl, like you just gave us Superman. Why are we going with Supergirl? Like, so I think to a certain extent, he is saying like, let me see. All right, I guess throwing it at the wall and seeing if it sticks is not the correct frame. I think he's he believes in the story, and he's putting it out there to see, okay, can I do more stories like this? Like are they going to be receptive enough to these kind of stories? And I think that he's trying with Supergirl. I think he knows that there's a risk to this, but I think he's like, let's see if they're okay with this. Let's see if this works. And if it does, then that opens up the door for him to be able to. Because what would have been the obvious choice to go with here? It's not that hard. Think about it.
It's Batman.
No, not even. Like if you wanted to go with a female character, it's Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Like that would have been the obvious choice. But he chose to try Supergirl. There has to be a reason behind that, in my opinion. So I do think to a certain extent he's trying it, but he's taken a really good stab at it because he's sticking to the comic book lore.
I don't disagree. That actually, that's more reasonable. Yeah, but like, can we can't agree that there is a slight difference between Supergirl and Clayface.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Clayface is definitely a toss up. Like that, I like this. This seems like, hey, you know what? I'm giving them kind of what they like. I'm giving them some Superman. I like Clayface, so let me try this thing. That seems like a throw at the wall, see if it sticks. That one does feel that way.
Yeah.
Lanterns is more of like no, like where people like Lantern. They like Green Lantern, but they like more than just Green Lanterns. So let's give them
Oh,
something
I
that
want Lanterns to
celebrates
be
that.
good. I want it to be
I
good
do
so
too.
much.
I
I don't think
really
it will
do.
be, but I want it to be. You know, like
I put it this way. I think it's going to be quite entertaining. I'd never remember his name. As far as I'm concerned, he's always Coach Taylor, the one that's that's playing Hal Jordan. I don't. He's always
Kyle.
Coach Taylor.
I'm gonna say Kyle Shanahan, but I know that's not it. It's Kyle
No,
something.
that's
Right?
that's a coach.
It's a
But
coach, yeah.
I'll find out in a second. Lanterns. Like I said, he's always Coach Taylor for me because of Friday Night Lights. Kyle Chandler. Yeah, Kyle
Kyle
Chandler.
Chandler.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I am. I hope that thing is good because that's like, to be honest with you, that's the one I'm looking forward the most to this year. Like it's Lanterns. Like I'm looking forward to
Jay
that this season.
Jay said I knew nothing about Peacemaker prior to Suicide Squad. John Cena made me love the character. I think that James Gunn succeeds best when he can tell his story, whatever you want to believe that means, right?
Yeah.
When he can tell his story, um, and the character doesn't have enough weight that it matters.
Okay. Yep.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense. It's There's enough ambiguity from the audience to where if you change parts of the story, like for instance, if you change the origin of Peter Quill, no one cares because who cares about Peter Quill in the first place? Nobody does. You know what I mean? If you change up, if you tweak some things with Drax, like his how he was created, the purpose he was created for, which is
Yeah.
basically to kill Thanos. Like you can change the story a little bit, give him a different motivation towards that, like whatever. Like you can change the story a little bit, and you can make it work, right? Because nobody knows enough about Drax, nobody knows enough about Star Lord, nobody knows enough about Gamora, so Nebula, like all these different characters, Rocket, Raccoon, right? No one knows really that much about these characters. So as a result, you can make that work. It probably will work with Clayface.
I agree.
So yeah.
I hope. And that's the only other thing. There was one thing that I've been mentioning a little, and that is that at one point, how do I put this? A piece of information that has been corroborated regarding the overall plot of Doomsday has come out. It is readily available everywhere. Many people have commented on it. I don't want to go into great detail about the conversation. Not a huge fan of it. But I do want to comment not on the details, but on the idea. First of all, I wouldn't care about plot leaks if I had any inkling. I knew what was going to happen in Infinity War. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I knew Thanos was going to get the stones.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was going to end with him getting the stones, if he was going to be one shot. I didn't know but I knew who the bad guys were and generally who was involved and what was happening. I know who's involved in Doomsday. I don't know why or what's happening. We don't know who Doctor Doom is we've talked about this a million times.
Yeah.
So when I read the plot leak in its full detail, I came to the conclusion that this might be real because it sucks. It is the worst thing I've ever seen. It is so dumb. It is so forced. And it would make sense if they are trying to make a sequel to Endgame that ignores 95% of what happened. And that's why I think it's real. If they had given us any information about what Doomsday is about, if they had kept things a secret, which they can't afford to do. They can't afford to keep a secret about Steve Rogers. They can't afford to keep a secret about Thor. They can't afford to keep these secrets because nobody cares. They need to make people care. I am afraid that we are going to get a phenomenal bad movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We are going to get a well-written, well-directed, and well-acted movie that does not matter and nobody cares. And if the leaks are correct, that is what we are going to get. We are going to get a forced, contrived nonsense story that will not make anyone happy. Nobody will be happy to hear it. Because why are we... One thing I'll say, because I've heard it in other places too, is that Doctor Doom never reveals his face during the movie. Which, okay, then why are we talking about Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom if no one's going to see it?
Yeah.
Why even say he's Doctor Doom? Why not just say Robert Downey Jr. will return?
Yeah.
And then not say he's Iron Man. Yeah. And then let people figure out he's Doctor Doom. I don't know. I assume that the people who make money for being good at writing this are doing a good job. But man, if you can avoid reading those leaks, guys, I highly advise. I don't feel better having read them. So I know, Goof, you haven't read them yet, and I told you not to. And I'm telling anybody who's watching this at this, 2 hours into our fucking podcast, please don't look at them because there's no information you're going to gain that's going... you could cope. If you already think it's going to be great, don't look at the leaks. Don't worry about it. If you don't think it's going to be great, don't look at the leaks. It's not going to help you. So it's for nobody. Please just my advice is please avoid them at all costs. They can't help you. Yeah. And that's it. That's just my little PSA. Although Jay did ask us, what's your take on Star Trek Starfleet Academy being canceled? Goofy? I don't know if you know this, but I don't know much about Star Trek. My knowledge of Star Trek is the J.J. Abrams movies and Picard, the TV show Picard, which I enjoy very much. So I don't know if you have anything to add to this. I will say...
Yeah, I've been checked out of that for years.
I will say the same thing I always say, And the same thing I will always say about everything when it comes to art. There is joyful and there is joyless. There's no good or bad. There's what you like and what you don't like. There is joyful and there is joyless. Star Trek has become joyless. The people who liked Star Trek do not like Star Trek anymore. Not because they gave up on Star Trek, because Star Trek gave up on telling quality stories. Star Trek has always been a story about diversity, inclusion, equity, and kindness. That is what Star Trek has always been. You can't focus on any one of those things if you are also not focusing on the story. So if you tell a bad story, it does not matter how much kindness, diversity, equity, and inclusion you put into it. Because you have a bad story. You just have a bad story. That's just how it goes. Why, like I said earlier, if you are mad at a character, if you hate a character, that's a well-written character and a well-acted character. If you hate what a character is doing, that is a poorly written or poorly acted character. Star Trek Starfleet Academy was canceled because it was a poorly written, poorly acted show that had no purpose, no goal, and no audience. I don't know why people think in order for... Goof, you know how many black people are in America off the top of your head? You're all friends, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't. Exactly.
All friends? Yes.
But that's not the same conversation. Yeah. And there was a Family Guy I watched recently where Peter and Cleveland are talking, and Peter goes, awful lot of white guys with dreadlocks dating black guys. And Peter goes, we are aware, or Quagmire goes, we are aware and we are handling it, Peter. And he's like, I just feel like the community has spoken. We are aware and we are addressing it. And I just always think of that in these conversations. Correct. The answer is nobody knows, right? Yeah. Nobody knows how many any group of any person is. We have estimates of stuff, but like what we do know is that there is a 100% group of people who like to be entertained. That is every person. Stop. And just because content is made for a particular group of people, whatever that group is, does not mean it cannot be entertaining. I do not believe I am the target audience for Atlanta. That does not mean I haven't watched every episode of Atlanta. That show is awesome. I don't believe I was the target audience of Empire. That does not mean I did not enjoy Empire. You can enjoy things that are not made for you. You don't have to. They're not made for you. But you can. If you cannot enjoy something that is not made for you, you really have to wonder why. And if it is made for you and you don't enjoy it, then you have to wonder who fucked up. And that's where Star Trek's the problem. This is a very long walk, so I'm sorry if everyone thought this was going to go in a different direction. If I buried the lead with some kind of weird shit. If you make content for a group of people and that group of people does not watch it, you have failed. So, did you make Star Trek for existing fans or this theoretical new fan series base? Because neither watched it, it got canceled because it sucked. Power? Hell yeah. Another great show. I'm mentioning those shows because I am very obviously not the demographic for them. But I could also say Friends. Like, you know? I could say The View. I am not the... See, that's another example. I am not the target audience of The View, and I don't like The View. That's it. No other notes. I don't need to hear these women. I'm sure they have something to say. It's not for me. Go say what you need to say. Final thoughts, Goof. What do you got to say?
Final thoughts. Daredevil.
About anything. Want to just end it on Daredevil again?
Yeah, let's just end it on Daredevil Born Again. Season 2 is amazing. So far, they have done nothing wrong, and I'm looking forward to that. I am nervous as heck about Invincible. Like I don't know how the heck that's gonna look. Why? What is happening?
I didn't drop it. Daredevil.
Is that your Funko?
That's my Funko. Yeah. I do have all of the Netflix Daredevil Funkos, which is just the 4.
Okay.
Well, all of that season 1. It is that though all 4 of them are. That was the easy one to grab. The rest are stacked up. Are on this shelf, and then there's the Q figs of the Netflix series, which has Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. I do not have. Is this gonna? Hell yeah, it worked. I do not have the Daredevil one of those. I never got it. And then all my Doctor Dooms are over there. I'm a very simple man. If I like something, I buy stuff related to it. That's why I will not be buying any Invincible shit.
I mean, I don't have any Invincible crap either, to be fair.
That's it. I got nothing left.
That's it for me.
We're done. Let's just drift off lazily. Let's just leave it running for another 3 hours while we talk about our other nonsense. We'll talk about MSF.